Chapter 1. Farrah. This was supposed to be a party, so why I felt anything but happy. Seated at the throne that suddenly appeared beside Lark's at the main hall of the Shade Fortress after our wedding, I watched as the reception raged on. Even though it had been sudden, Lark had found a way to throw a huge party, complete with performers and fireworks. The Fae, all from the Shadow Court, indulged in the food and drink and dance, most already too drunk to even remember their name. Amid them all, Lark talked to the other male Fae. He laughed out loud and patted their backs, sometimes moving his arms wide, as if he too was drunk, but I knew better. He had been holding the same damn glass of champagne since the beginning of the party hours ago, and he had barely drunk a single sip so far. He was pretending to be drunk, though I had to admit he did look happy, the complete opposite of me. Every now and then, his dark eyes met mine from across the room, and it was all I could do not to flinch in disgust. But I kept it in. I held his stare with a defiance of my own. Yes, I had married the Fae Prince, but that didn't mean I had to like it. In fact, I despised it. During the entire party, no one approached me. No one came to talk to me, except for a few servants who offered me food and drink. Still feeling sick about my unknown future, I refused those. While the Fae danced and chatted and drunk, I stayed seated and quiet on the throne, staring at the wall across the room, above everyone's heads, and counting the seconds. Finally, when the sun was rising behind the mountain, Lark dropped his champagne flute and walked to me. By now, there were only a handful of Fae still dancing on the main hall, while most of them had already left, or slept on the floor, too drunk to care. With an easy smile, Lark halted before me. "Ready to go?" My stomach twisted in a million knots. No, I wanted to answer him. But I knew better than to tell him that. So, when he offered me his arm, I stood from the throne chair and took it. Like a gentleman, he helped down the dais steps, then guided me over the black carpet, cutting through the main hall. Outside, his guards waited. Once we walked by them, they counted 5 steps, then began following us. I wasn't overly worried about the wedding night, because it was different for the Fae. We had a rule called the moon period. The Fae couldn't sleep together for 3 weeks after a wedding to seal the magical bond between them and wait for the mating bond to snap before trying to conceive a child, since creating a baby Fae wasn't as easy as it was for humans. Lark confirmed as much when he stopped in front of the closed doors to my chambers, his guards several steps back now. The prince held both my hands this time. "I never thought much about the moon period, until now." He stared into my eyes, the glint in his downright naughty. "But I understand its importance. I want to have many sons with you, Farrah, and I'll respect the moon period." 2 feelings warred inside me. Relief that he wouldn't touch me tonight, but despair that soon the moon period would be over. And then, I didn't know how I would keep him away from me. What he didn't know, though, was that I couldn't give him any sons or daughters. Fae could only have children with those they had first been with, and for me, that was Wyatt. Wyatt was my mate, and I hadn't even had the chance to tell him. Even if I had the chance, would I have told him? There was no reason to make him more worried and sad about our situation. Not knowing he was my mate would help him move on faster. Lark brought one of my hands to his lips and planted a kiss on my knuckles. "Sleep well, princess." With a last lingering glance, he retreated. His guards followed, except for 2 who positioned themselves on the hallways, a good way from my door.